In farming today, every move makes a difference. It's important to get the most efficiency, the most productivity from every piece of equipment you own. And that includes owning tractor tires that deliver the most traction. More tire traction means less time in the field, more fuel in the tank, and more money in your pocket. In our tests, the Firestone 23° R1 tractor tire has outperformed the 45° R1W. It's one reason today why Firestone is the most preferred farm tire brand in North America, and how Firestone earned its title, Leader in the Field. Recently, Michelin has challenged that leadership with claims that the traction of their tires is as good or better than the Firestone tire with the 23° tread. Rather than compete in a war of words, we decided to let the tires speak for themselves in a harvested field of corn. On a crisp November day on a farm near Slater, Iowa, the Firestone Radial All-Traction 23R1 would go tread to tread against the Michelin Agribib R1W. The tires would compete in the same field, at the same time, with the same size tractors, and in front of more than 50 observers who would judge the fairness of the demonstration. It would demonstrate, once and for all, the superiority of the Firestone 23° bar design against the best Michelin could offer. The demonstration involved two drive tractors, fine-tuned to perform as equally as possible, and an anchor tractor. A cable was attached to the drawbar of one drive tractor, run through a pulley on the anchor tractor, and attached to the second drive tractor. In this configuration, each drive tractor pulls an equal load, yet can float in relation to the other, depending upon the grip or slip of the tires they run on. Starting side by side, running in the same gear and at the same RPM, the two drive tractors pull the anchor tractor along. It's really a giant tug of war. The tractor with the most traction steadily gains more cable and pulls ahead of the other tractor. The difference in traction is measured by the distance between the two tractors at the end of the run. The drive tractors in our demonstration were matched as evenly as possible. Both were John Deere 8520s, each had mechanical front-wheel drive and dual rear tires. One tractor was fitted with Firestone Radial All-Traction 23R1s, the other with Michelin Agribib R1Ws. The mechanical front-wheel drives were disengaged and differentials locked on both tractors. Only the rear tires would drive these tractors. The anchor tractor was a four-wheel drive John Deere 9520, pulling a 5-shank disc gripper set 16 to 18 inches deep for increased drag. The demonstration would involve two runs, each over a measured quarter-mile distance. After completion of the first run, the two tractors would exchange tires and then run again. Switching tires would prove yet another display of confidence that the results of this demonstration rode solely on the performance of the tires and not on a difference between tractors. The same tires that performed best in the first run should perform best in the second, regardless of the tractor they're mounted on. Through it all, extra care was made to assure that the drive tractors were set up to perform as equally and fairly as possible. Both tractors were tested on a dynamometer by an independent third party to compare horsepower. They were both scaled and ballasted to compensate for differences in driver weights. No compensation was made for the differences in tire weight. Firestone's robust design weighs more than their tire. So even though the tires of both brands were the same size, each of the Firestone tires weighed 44.5 pounds more. Tires were inflated according to Michelin's data book for actual axle loads. The rear tires of both brands were inflated to 11 psi. Finally, impartial observers were randomly chosen to ride in each drive tractor to verify the operating gear and RPM of each run. Here's a look at the first run. Both tractors are in the same gear, running at 2,000 RPM for a quarter of a mile. Remember, the tractor with the most traction will steadily pull ahead of the other. Which tractor do you think is fitted with the Firestone tires? And we're done. At the end of the first quarter-mile run, the tractor with the Firestone Radial All-Traction 23s finished 37 feet 4 inches ahead of the tractor with the Michelin Agribib R1Ws. Over 37 feet. Pretty impressive, but we still have a second run to go, but not before we switch the rear tires from one tractor to the other. Once the tires were exchanged, pressures checked, and tractors once again scaled and ballasted for weight differences, the second run could begin. Despite being mounted on the other tractor, the Michelin tires didn't fare any better. In this run, the tractor fitted with the Firestone tires finished 36 feet 8 inches ahead of the tractor with the Michelins. That's just 8 inches less than the first run, which means the Firestone tires outpulled the Michelins an average of 37 feet. Same tires, different tractor, 2 runs, same result. More than winning at the finish line, the tests show how Firestone tires can improve your bottom line. Considering the Firestone tires finished 37 feet, more than 12 yards ahead of the Michelin tires after just a quarter mile, think about the acres you could be ahead, the extra work you could get done, and the gallons of fuel you could save with the Firestone tires after a full day in the field, or after a full season, or over the lifetime of your tires. It goes to show that when it comes to having the best traction, getting the most work done, and saving the most fuel, nothing kicks dirt like Firestone. Firestone, still the leader in the field. Ask your Firestone certified farm tire dealer about Firestone tires for your tractor.